When I started thinking about making this video about minimalistic photography, I thought, do I even have any good examples to show you? I was mainly thinking about shooting minimalistic street photography, but then I thought about our recent trip to Namibia, and it would just be rude not to include those photos because I think they are some good examples as well, and you can easily draw parallels to the city. And with that, let's talk about how we can take great minimalistic photos both in the city and in epic locations that has this vastness to them, I guess you can say, that makes it so much fun to shoot minimalistic photos, if you know what to look for. We'll also take a field trip in this video to look for minimalistic photo opportunities out in the streets of Oslo, so make sure you watch the whole video. But first, what are minimalistic photos or photography? To me, these types of photos breaks the rules of photography a little bit, like in this example where my subjects are clearly right in the middle of the frame, which is sort of taboo according to the rules of photography, but rules are meant to be broken, especially when it comes to creativity. Same goes for this image from the Oslo Opera House, just to draw a parallel from nature to the city. You can also place your subject far out on the edges of the photo to create that minimalistic effect. Just as I was scripting this video, a bird landed on the roof of the neighbor building. An example of what I just mentioned literally came flying to me, so here it is. You have something called high-key minimalist photos where most of the image is white with a dark subject, and you have something called low-key minimalist photos where most of the image is dark with a white or light subject. You can also emphasize that was a very difficult word for me today apparently, but you can also emphasize minimalism or simplicity by converting your image to a black and white photo or desaturating it. Personally, I think that in minimalistic photography there should be no doubt as to what your subject is, if there even is a subject, but that's more of an abstract genre of photography, not that these genres can't be combined, I'm just saying. Let's take this image from Namibia again. Here the people on top of the dune are my subjects, and I think this would have made for an excellent image if those people weren't there, but they really emphasize the vastness and how big and huge these dunes in the Namib desert are. So think about that when you want to experiment with your minimalistic photography, that your subject can really give a perspective to the vastness of their environment. I really did enjoy shooting in Deadvlei and Sossusvlei where these deserty images are taken, and I got some images that I absolutely loved. I also instructed my girlfriend to take this photo of myself, and she did a brilliant job. Also with minimalism in mind. I just wanted that photo of me. Yeah, that's how it is. Sometimes you gotta get selfies for the gram, you know. In this image, I love the lines of the dune. And can you spot the same thing that I found later when I opened it up in Lightroom? The top line almost looks like a face in profile. So that was something completely unexpected, and I loved it. Speaking of unexpected elements, this is now something I definitely pay attention to. That's what that line or that face taught me. And I'm definitely paying more attention to lines or specific elements like this, because you gain a ton of experience, and you learn what to look for when you are actually out shooting, when you are practicing this minimalistic photography or just your photography. And this is something I really hope you will do shortly after watching this video, because it really is the best way to learn, gain experience, and find these unexpected elements like the face in the dune. These photos were edited with my presets, by the way, and if you're interested you can pick them up from my website. There will be a link in the description. Here is another minimal image from the desert. It's the haze and the ancient dead trees that does it for me in this image. I love it. Not that I'm going to brag about my own photos, but I really do like this image as well. And I think it falls into the minimalistic category. Here are some more photos from the desert in Namibia for your reference and hopefully inspiration. Shooting in nature like this was truly an amazing experience. And on that note, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Believe it or not, it makes a huge difference and it helps me make more and better content like this for you guys. It's also completely free, so when you hit subscribe, also make sure to ring that bell as well, so you'll get a notification when I have new videos on YouTube. Thank you. Alright, let's move from the Namib desert and into the city where I live, which is Oslo. The best example I have from here is the Oslo Opera House, which is quite famous, and I really do enjoy to bring my camera and go down there to snap photos. And that's exactly what we are going to do now, you and I together, and see if we can find some simplistic or minimalistic photo opportunities, so you can see how I think. Alright, here I am at the Oslo Opera House. I've been here many times before. Got some interesting images on my way down here. Don't know if they exactly fall in the minimalism category, but I got some shots here as well, especially of this seagull. Think they looked quite cool. That's nice, and I've seen that there are some reflective surfaces after last night's rain. Today is a nice and blue sky, but let's find some spots here so we can take some minimalistic looking images. Here I used the building as a foreground element and frame. I knew there would be people walking past in the distance that would give this image a sense of scale. I thought they looked quite cool, and these photos are quite easy to replicate and tweak to make uniquely yours. Using this puddle as a reflective surface, I think this is going to be brilliant actually. I've never seen this before. That's always a bonus. Yeah! With reflective surfaces, the trick is to get low or close to the reflective surface like I'm doing here. I have another video on using reflections in your street photography that you should probably watch after this. I'll link to that in the description. Constantly trying to find shade here because it's so bright, but I think those reflective shots looked awesome. Now I'm going to try a few more spots here because it's really good. Great conditions today. And that's why I love the Oslo Opera House for street photography. So many good opportunities depending on the weather. You can use all sorts of conditions. It's awesome. A few more and we are done. If you're ever in Oslo, I'd recommend to go here for pictures. I always seem to get something that looks quite cool from the Opera House. There are always people around, and with the angles of the Opera House itself, you can get some pretty cool minimalistic shots. So have that in mind when you are in a city shooting street photography. If you have really big open spaces or cool architecture, you can experiment with shooting this minimalistic or simplistic style of street photography. It's yet another great element to add to your creative tool bag. In the city, I like to combine minimalistic shots with high contrast images, and I think they complement each other quite nicely, especially when the sun is out and the light might not be in your favor. A few weeks back there was also this Red Bull cliff diving competition, also at the Oslo Opera House, and I got some really cool images. This is by far my favorite. Let me know what you think in the comments. For those images I used a long telephoto, the Sony 100-400, yeah, shooting mostly at 400 to get these divers when they were doing their thing. But generally when I shoot minimalistic photos I just use a wide angle, and my go-to lens is the 24-105, and I shoot between 24 and 35 for those minimalistic shots. This should have given you some ideas in different scenarios, what to look for and what to photograph. Now let's quickly go through it again. Number 1, big open spaces with one small subject or subjects. Like this one from the desert, which is more of a landscape shot. And then there's this in an urban environment. Number 2, break the rules of photography and place your subject closer to the edges of the frame. Or if you are really bold, out to provoke, dead in the center of the frame. Number 3, think abstract and weird angles, like this diver from the Red Bull cliff diving competition in Oslo. Or this one shot I shot from my balcony and just flipped the image upside down in Lightroom. I think it looked great with the shadows there. And if you want to know more about shooting in harsh light, taking advantage of these high contrasts, I made a video about that as well. Link downstairs in the description. And it's getting dangerously close to the end of this video. I just want to say that remember ABC, always bring camera, because every day with a camera has the potential to be a mini adventure. And I hope this was helpful to you. If you decide to go out and try this concept for yourself, try to get those cool minimalistic photos. That would be awesome to see. And then you can tag me on Instagram at Bryn. That would be fantastic, and I'd love to see what you get yourself. Okay, please remember to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Hit that bell to get a notification of future content. That is the best way you can support me, and it helps me make more and better videos for you guys. Right, that's it. Bye bye, see you in the next one.